what do you think the time frame is for these schools that are in, the inner Texas? You Ketch and I are kind of under the belief we think it can happen as early as 2022, but what are you hearing, from on your end?
Early on, like a week ago, I talked to people pretty high up, pretty high ranking throughout the SEC, not affiliated with A&M. And that's something I do, contrary to popular belief, I have always tried to do, whether it's coaches, you guys, as these coaches scatter out, your network, even doing what we do, grows throughout the entire country. Last week, even, a lot of people are like, they're not getting out. Like, it's going to be, I know what the media is saying. I know it's going to be 24 at the earliest. Now, talking to even some of those same people, I think next year is a very real possibility. And I think if you made me wager one way or the other, put my own money on it, I would bet 23. But it's so close that I would I would go find I would find a better bet to make, like maybe Alabama being really good in football this year. But to me, I'm 55, 2023, 45, 2022. It's going to be next year or the year after at worst.
You can follow him on Twitter at Billy Liucci. You can read him over at TexAgs.com. Not that I need to tell any of you watching this video that you guys know the drill. Billy, before we let you go, any last thing you want to say as we wrap things up?
Yeah, first of all, this was fun. And Anwar, I appreciate you reaching out. And, it's something that I enjoy this. I enjoy the banter, the talking football. But I'll tell you this, too. What was I going to say here? There was something important, guys, that I was going to talk about on y'all's site. Oh, NIL. Congratulations on what you guys are doing. I think it's badass. And I'll say this, it's funny because when I put it out there, I knew a lot of people were going to be working on that. And I knew a site of y'all's size and scope and how long y'all had been doing it and what you guys were doing with the YouTube, which we're working on over here as well right now. I knew there were a lot of people that were on the NIL thing, but I was very interested stepping out on that limb. And I knew I was going to take bullets, and TexAgs was of being, this is bad for the game. And this is this and that. This is the game. This is where things have gone. And what you guys are doing, and Brian Davis said it, what we're both doing. And I know y'all launched this morning with Whittington, and are announcing some more stuff today. And we're in the process of doing the same. It's so great for the kids and the fans. And it's also going to pull these athletic departments out of what they've kind of just retreated into this defensive shell over the years. And no one ever points out that, like, hey, what the hell has Learfield and IMG, what have they been doing for years and years? They've been paying millions of dollars to these athletic departments. And over time, they have grabbed this and pulled everyone in. And when I interviewed Kellen Mond last year, when he announced that he was turning pro, and if you guys would have read the comments, no one knew the A&M quarterback that started for 4 years. They didn't feel like they really knew him. And when he sat there and said, man, when I got the offer to A&M and I committed to A&M, my dad, no one was happier than my dad. He grew up loving what Aggie stood for. And, he's a military guy, and he always loved A&M for what the university stood for and how Aggies were. And he had a whole closet of A&M. No Aggie fans knew that about the 4-year starting quarterback that was going to be a 3rd-round draft pick. And that hit home to me. And I know you guys have been working on it for a while, and I had been doing the exact same thing. And these kids are going to benefit when they sit here in this chair. When Isaiah Spiller sat here the other day and his whole family is out in the lobby and they comes out and they're giving him a hug, how proud they are of him. And I know they're getting paid a lot of money, and who wouldn't want to do this as a college athlete? But that's good too, because I remember sharing a room with Dan Campbell and living in a 2-bedroom apartment with him and Leckler and the McKinneys, Geoff, going back to then. There's like 4 of us in a 2-bedroom because they're trying to make their $600 a month scholarship check go as far as it could go. So good on these guys for getting that. And the fans, great for Orangebloods fans, great for TexAgs fans, because they're going to get to know these kids in a whole different light. So kudos to you guys for what you're doing. I think it's absolutely badass.
I knew we were in a race with you guys. I knew it.
You know how I knew? Because that Sunday I did, and I don't read, contrary to what people think, I don't go read the boards very much at all over that. It's just, it's like Twitter. It's the time waste of all time, right? And I'm over here feuding with Longhorns on Twitter all the time. I don't have time to go read OB, but I did that night because I was interested to see what everyone's saying about what we did there. And when I didn't read the whole anything from you, I was like, oh, Ketch and Anwar have something going. Like they're in there. It's just a matter of a couple of days. They'll have something good out too. And like, look, I know a lot of Aggie fans, did the same thing the Horn fans would do to me. And they're like, oh, you guys, they don't understand, right? The process that y'all had to go through to get that through and to get it done the right way. Like there's a lot that went into that behind the scenes. It's not something that you or I just snapped your fingers and it's done the day everybody reads about it.
No doubt about it. Billy Liucci, TexAgs.com, Anwar Richardson, Geoff Ketchum, Orangebloods.com. We have to do this again, Billy, because here's the thing. If you and I ever just decide that we want to do a weekly podcast together, I think that Feinbaum's exactly right. I think the weirdest
about that line.
I told Anwar we should just call it the two Satans, because it would be two guys that the other person's fan base and support group thinks is like the evildoer in the world. To put the two evildoers together, I'm not sure. I think the college football world is ready for that.
Don't kid yourself. There are going to be a lot of people on y'all's site that get very angry at you and Anwar today because this face is on Orangebloods and this annoying, slow drawl voice is on Orange. And it's going to be the exact same thing on TexAgs. But there are a lot of people that I think will absolutely enjoy it on both sides. I really do. And so appreciate y'all having me on for real.
Most people
will your friend Hannah enjoy it or not? Because she gives you a hard time.
Man, I'll say this: in however many years, she has figured out how to troll me worse than I've ever trolled the Longhorns. It's definitely it's a problem that I'm trying to work on. But the little quote tweet works wonders because she quote tweets it. A lot of laughing emojis, and the Longhorns just pile on that thing. It's like an automatic cheat code for likes, and I gotta figure that thing out because I'm taking L's.
She's using you.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. Don't worry.
The problem is you want to use words, and she's using emojis, and you haven't mastered the Jedi art form.
I'm too old for it. It's a young person's game.
It is.
You know what? And it's fine. I will adjust. And like I told Anwar, it's not 24 hours. It's 24 months. Like I'm staying in the ring, no matter how many L's. And hopefully now we got football. So I'm really fired up. And we haven't even talked, by the way, guys, we haven't even talked about this season. And I think both sides, so much at stake. For Sark and Jimbo, like it's just for completely different reasons. But this is like, I feel like this is the Cold War is ending, but this last little go through of the Big 12 and A&M trying to establish itself as a long-term power in the conference. There's a lot going on this fall that's going to be, I could see both teams are going to play a hell of a lot of really close football games. And what happens in the fourth quarter in College Station and in Austin is going to be pretty damn impactful moving forward. There's no question about that.
On a day that will be remembered much like when Hogan joined the NWO, Ketch and Billy and Anwar. Oh my God.
That's a NWO, isn't it?
They're going to screenshot that.
Wait. No, here. No, it's it.
It was one.
You're gonna have a really bigger pink one coming at you this one time. It's gonna be a real huge.
I'm trying to not open my mouth very much during this interview. No yelling and screaming. By the way, that play, I'm gonna I know that we're going long, whatever. This is beauty of non-radio, but that play, I know exactly what it was. I'm down there and Tannehill is running to the sideline, and it was Brian Robinson, right? Not Robinson. That was the DN was Robinson. Keenan Robinson comes, and it's a very late push in the back, and Tannehill goes sprawling. So I almost get knocked over. So I'm going to recreate. I do one of these numbers, like a slow-mo matrix, probably an incredibly athletic move to avoid the Pro Bowl quarterback and the all Big 12 linebacker, boom, like this. And then I turned to the ref, and the words I was like, come on, it was a come on. And about a few minutes later, a couple minutes later, I'm 99% sure it was Jen Brown. It was Jen. I bet if we go back and look, she was doing it. She comes up and she's working, and she kind of nudges me at the elbow and shows me her phone. And it's not the actual finished product of the GIF yet, but it is the video of me yelling. And she's like, the night before we had all gone out, the ESPN people were like people in the truck, the producers. And so they had sent it to her, like, look at your friend and look at, and so within a couple minutes, she shows me that. About 5 minutes later during the game, text, everyone watching TV. And I go, man, I could have sworn that thing would be over by 10 years from now, but I guess not.
I almost don't even know how to respond for myself. And Anwar, Richardson, and Billy Liucci, we will do this again in the future, hopefully the near future. You guys take care of each other. Later.
For sure. And likewise, we'll have to get you guys on TexAgs radio, maybe even in studio one day if y'all ever come into town.
I think that was an unofficial invite, Anwar, to get me from the Woodlands into the studio. I'm in.
It's a trap.
Just tell me the day. I'll come by and take notes of the studio that you're replacing so that we can make notes for the studio we're producing.
Yeah.
But again, for myself, Billy Liucci, Anwar Richardson, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.